What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we're going to be taking a peek over here at the XRP price chart as we are having a weekend update, getting ready for a busy week ahead of us. As last week came to a close, we saw all of the stock market indexes, the majors at least, the Dow Jones, the S&P, and the NASDAQ all closed just a hairline above their last Fibonacci retracement levels. Meanwhile, Bitcoin stays tight within a range here between 29,700 and 29,900. As we all sit here going into the new week, highly anticipating on, is this range from XRP going to backtest the top of the breakout that we had from summary judgment, in which Judge Torres ruled that XRP itself is not a security? Or can we maintain the strength that we've seen, like we did in 2017, that as we finally escaped the Wyckoff accumulation range, merely consolidated for a moment to then continue up even higher? We'll take a quick peek at all of it as we get ready to go into the new week. This is one of those weeks where we typically do see some volatility, as we do have an FOMC meeting, Federal Reserve interest rates. The market is pricing in that there's a 99.2% chance that they will raise interest rates. If you remember, at the end of 2022, the Fed had signaled that they would only do 75 basis points throughout the year of 2023. They completed that. They did pause at the last meeting, but during their pause, they signaled, we're not done. So the market is saying we're going up 25 on Wednesday. That typically does bring a little bit of volatility to the market in the days leading up to it, into the days after it, as the market digests the information that is delivered on forward guidance from Jerome Powell. The thing to remember is that these markets have still continued to rally even into all of these interest rate hikes, even with the market expecting Jerome Powell to raise the interest rates by 25 more basis points. The Dow Jones still broke above the 702 Fibonacci retracement last week and closed above the 786 Fibonacci retracement level last week. We've gone through the interest rates a lot on this channel, looking at the historical behavior over the last 23 years. It is the act of cutting that has signaled that problems were heading to the stock market. The raises and the pauses did not cause turmoil in markets on the bigger trend. It's been the marks of starting to cut that eventually led to the big falls coming for the markets. And this has been true for the last 23 years. So we could see the market didn't really care, but everything did cut it so down to the wire. Next week sure would be nice to get a little further away from these retracement levels to signify a clean break. Because as of right now, that's really as close as you can get. 1 point on the S&P 500 above the 786. But an absolutely astonishing move to see the Dow Jones finally crack through that 702 retracement after 8 months and still even close above the 786 last week. So as we head into this new week and we expect volatility, we're at the retracement levels, we got the FOMC. One of the big missing puzzles of the market has been a move up in Bitcoin. We talked about this all week last week for XRP. There's one element that is missing, that is Bitcoin moving to the upside. Hopefully we get those nice breaks over there in the stock market that eventually leads to Bitcoin having its shot to go. Because as of right now, everybody all week, you could see it, the emotions are running back and forth. XRP, which way are we going? The range just continues to bounce around in here. We've compared this back to what the 2017 range looked like back there as XRP broke out from its over year-long Wyckoff accumulation as well, and what this consolidation looked like. To kind of have a clue, we can look at XRP's current price action on the top. We can look at XRP's price action from 2017 down here on the bottom of the screen. We can look at time elapses. Everything was moving right on schedule. Strength indicators were moving right on schedule. And then as we pointed out last Thursday, we saw the weakness start to emerge over here on XRP when it was 81.3 cents, deviating away from what we should be doing to continue up higher. And since then have continued to pull back. So structurally, definitely different from what was happening in 2017. As we showed multiple times, the element still missing is the one thing most people don't want to believe in, and that is Bitcoin. That when we got this nice break happening in here, we were having Bitcoin signaling it was going to keep rampaging upwards. We're still waiting on that signal from Bitcoin right now. And I think we're kind of waiting on that signal from all markets, really. It does seem we're at this moment of where like these big breaks can happen throughout the whole market to kind of create euphoria or create fear. We're talking about all these retrace levels here for the stock market back at these 786s. We get above them, but then we close 1 point above for the S&P 500. We close 0.09% for the NASDAQ. We close 0.11% for the Dow Jones. Meanwhile, Bitcoin, when we zoom out, is stuck right at its major support and resistance level that's been there for 2.5 years. So this is like a signifying breakout level for Bitcoin, breakout level for indexes, and obviously breakout level for XRP. And markets tend to move together. But if you want to revisit some of the things we talked about in 2021 and why it would make sense that there is some resistance here for Bitcoin that ultimately can lead to a break upwards and quite aggressively, we can go back to talking about just how we fell down to where we're at right now. On this channel, we all knew we were exhibiting a bear market price behavior from the very peak of the market. I've put out videos discussing this recently, showing how the peak of the market was actually back in the laser eyes and diamond hands period. Even though price went on to set a new high, we know this is what happens in late stage bear market before capitulation ends up happening. And even heading into the capitulation, while timing quite different here in this phase, we see we even pause out right at the same spot, then go on to capitulate. We followed this throughout 2021 and 2022. We've brought it up in a couple of videos here in 2023. But what was interesting about this was what the ending of 2018's bear looked like. And well, even the ending of 2014 emerged right there from the peak of the market straight down into our capitulation level, in which they were identical distances again, as we can see shown here. Same thing, ABC pause, then finally going on and hitting full distance again, just like we did in 2014's capitulation. And while this phase was very interesting to see how this played out in here, from the peak all the way to the capitulations being the same distance here for Bitcoin from 2014. What was really remarkable was actually seeing how the price behavior was mimicked here from the very peak of also that exact same phase from 2018. But as we saw price go into capitulation, we saw the price behavior act similar in here, where it pauses at the same spot and then breaks down lower, and then once again breaks down, and then there's your bottom. And that's been our bottom ever since, once FTX collapsed, right? Look at these things. The shorts close themselves out, then the final capitulation, that's the end, that marks the bottom. But then when it goes back into recovery in here, when we look back into 2018 and we see that, we see how much work we had to do at that level, it paused out there for quite some time as well. Right here on this fractal, when we worked our way back up, we paused, we stalled, little teeny tiny highs, but still just grinding sideways. And this one as well is 31 days. We're back at that same level currently right now, having to fight that exact same spot as we did in 2018. This is the major support and resistance and breakdown level. That was the major support and breakdown level from 2018. And so the good news is it's not uncommon to have to sit here and fight to try to get your way back through it. And fortunately, I've talked about keeping an emotional log in the crypto market and how important that is to go back on it, because you can reference to see how you were feeling at particular times and say, what happened with price action after I was feeling a certain way? And fortunately, I do have an emotional log of this period and all these periods right in here. And so I'll kind of read these and you can kind of tell me whether or not, is that how you're feeling right now? Here is April 11th of 2019. I'm going to save you all the pessimistic, terrible stuff. I actually did read some of that stuff and presented that here on the channel, and I presented it in my newsletter after the FTX collapse. But I want to really talk about what it felt like right in here and read my emotional log here and then kind of a little bit further down the road. And so right there on April 11th, here's the actual entry from my emotional log. It says, okay, I didn't type anything in here for the last 10 days. However, Bitcoin had a big breakout and the rest of the market went up with it. However, I did not feel anything emotionally about it. So I didn't type anything in here. Bitcoin reached up to $5,400, pretty big jump. It's still at $5,050 as I am typing this. However, I'm skeptical of it. I do not feel any FOMO. I do not feel any excitement. I have more concern than excitement, as if we are preparing for a complete tumble. I don't know, but I might as well update this emotional log. Bitcoin popped up on April 2nd to $5,000 and has held this level for over a week. We shall see what comes next. Now, if we went through my emotional log of all this, you would see just absolute ruthless brutality of profanity and frustration at the market while still continuing to buy it because I was not going to give up. But when we popped out of there, I didn't trust it. And in here, I'm saying I'm skeptical. I do not feel any FOMO. Now, let's skip forward to May 2nd. Wow, it's been a while since I've updated this. Not much has happened. Bitcoin is sitting at $5,400, kind of just waiting for the next move. I expect a nasty fall down, but it's taking a while to do it. There is a bunch of Bitfinex drama regarding Tether, but that's kind of normal at this point if you have been in this space a few years. There's always been drama about Tether, so I don't really know what to think about it. I'm certain that when the fall does happen, they will use Tether drama as a catalyst for the fall, if the fall happens. But yeah, Tether and the fall will go hand in hand. Either way, I'm just sitting tight. I haven't bought anything new in the last couple weeks. I'm looking to make more entries on that fall if we get it. I would buy Bitcoin back in that $3,100 to $3,500 range in some altcoins, but we'll see if it ever happens. So you could see that even pulling off the lows and being in this area, I'm still skeptical of the market. I'm not trusting it. Guys, this is over 4 years ago talking about Tether drama and believing Tether drama. As you know, over the last couple of years, I'm like, whatever, we always hear it because I've been through this. And you could even see me kind of wishy-washy on Tether drama back in 2019. But then you move forward just a few days. You move forward to May 11th. Bitcoin just broke above $7,000. I'm starting to get very excited, which is dangerous. But I have to update this because it does not feel like someone is standing on my chest any longer. It feels exciting. It feels thrilling. It feels hopeful. And hope is a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous thing in the world of markets. But I need to update this now because I'm getting excited, and that needs to be documented. It was so dang gloomy buying during the 3000s. My next update will hopefully be a continuation of this. May 13th. Bitcoin just crossed $8,000. This is amazing. I'm expecting a pullback to 9,800 to around 6,000, but it appears the bear market is over. And so what you just saw in a matter of 1 month of being in this range of being, I did not feel anything emotionally about it, so I didn't type anything. I have more concern than excitement, as if we're preparing for another tumble. Then moving to, I'm starting to get very excited. This was where the emotional shift in the market completely happened. And it wasn't just me, it's everybody in the market. We're all experiencing the same thing. But what's well known here is that this range did not feel like it was going to go up. And it was the break of that particular level that brought euphoria back into the market. Because that also isn't where it stopped. It still kept going. And I could go into my emotional log to see how really euphoric it gets. But this was the certain break of the emotional log. This was where the sentiment completely shifted. Pessimism, skepticism, did not trust the rally, to very excited. And this was the crossing threshold. That is where we are right now. At the exact same point where the market doesn't know whether to trust it. Are we bullish? Are we not bullish? You have the majority of participants issuing caution, saying we're going lower. You, of course, still see Tether drama, but that leaving this level was when it finally felt like it was over. It finally felt like YOLO, like FOMO, like exciting. And we go back and we talk about XRP and we say, hey, the missing element of the market is Bitcoin moving up. And I wanted to show from my emotional log, it was the leaving of this exact range. It was the leaving of this exact price level that led to the liquidity pour in, the liquidity FOMO, the liquidity excitement, and how the current level we're at right now was a level of worry, concern, doubt, skepticism. So as we wait for XRP to give us an answer on, do we backtest the top of the breakout level? Do we continue this consolidation? I still think we are waiting for Bitcoin to give us that answer, but I wanted to share with you how the emotional distrust existed at this particular level back in 2019, that if we're hoping for something big to come in the market, we're hoping for liquidity pour in and excitement to happen in this market, why would it happen upon one more move up? And I wanted to share with you how there was a massive shift in the mentality of participants in the market in 2019 once this level broke. this was the point where distrust was lost and excitement came in. So depending on how you're feeling about where we are in the market, I wanted to share that with you, and that all it's going to take is one more push upwards in Bitcoin, and I will bet you the laser eyes will return. But for XRP, we're still going to have to wait on that. We're getting some hopeful signals over here in the stock market with FOMC this week. Likely volatility. Be nice to continue that push and get a much bigger move this week above those retracement levels rather than closing 1 point above. So hopefully this week is our week to get a good sign from macro, to give the sign to Bitcoin, to give the sign to XRP. As in this structure, it was the major breakout. In this structure, it was the major breakout. And as we all know, retracement levels have such significance in trending from rejections to breaks upwards. So big week this week, but definitely if you're getting sick of sitting here, I wanted to share with you, it's a normal feeling. It's exactly how it felt in 2019. But all it took was one more, and get ready, all those feelings dissipated very quickly. So as we head into the new week, it'll be fun. I will be here Monday through Thursday. I've mentioned in live streams and over here on Twitter that I wanted to give you a little heads up back on July 9th. So this is even before the summary judgment ruling came out. Wanted to give you a little heads up. Near the end of the summer, I'll have some days where I'll be away from YouTube, which will be July 28th through the 31st and August 3rd through the 7th. I always try to give you a heads up beforehand, never shying away during chaotic markets. Plan to go through the weekends, which I already take off. So I will be off Friday through Monday. I will not have access to create YouTube videos, but I'm here on Sunday. I'll be here Monday through Thursday. However, as the summer is coming to an end, these are a couple of days planned off ahead of time. So, all right, guys, looking forward to the week. Hopefully this week is our week. If you're looking for something to do, of course, you could check out my website over here, bcbacker.com. I created this course with the thought process of taking, either beginners or people who are experienced in the market to the next level, with a comprehensive course to give you a little bit of a competitive edge. There's over 40 hours plus 11 hours of content in here with insights from my experience over the course of the last 6+ years. Teaches you how to understand charts, indicators, the Wyckoff method, Elliott wave theory, plus a whole lot more. One time, $39 for all this content with no subscriptions and no hidden fees. You can check that out over there on bcbacker.com. There's also a link in the description of this video. Otherwise, I hope you are having a wonderful weekend. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.